Welcome guys to this League of Legends gameplay video where I will be talking about one of the strongest team compositions in Teamfight tactics that I have found. So here in this video I'll be doing a commentary after having recorded the gameplay, and I will go through the key points of this composition. So in this composition the main strategy is to have the 4 different range units. So that is Vayne, Varus, Ashe and Kindred. They will give you a boost, and what is very nice with this team composition is that each of these range units, they are of different class. So for example, Vayne is a noble and a ranged unit, Varus is a demon and a ranged, Ashe is ranged plus glacial, and Kindred is ranged as well as phantom. So that is very good because the minimum for most of these additional classes is to have at least 2 units within the battlefield, and you'll see that towards the end game I'll have around 7 different buffs available that are active. So 3 of them will be golden, the maximum level buff, and then 4 or at least 3-4 buffs will be bronze level. So I think that this team composition is very strong, and I used this specific team composition to climb ranked, and I easily climbed from Iron 2 to Gold 3, and probably I could go even further, but I just stopped climbing or playing ranked games, just because I think that gold gives you usually it gives the skin, so I usually stop after I reach gold rank in the ranked game. So as I said, you need additional units to be able to get the buffs. So for example, I usually go for Mordekaiser to pick up the phantom buff together with Kindred. For Vayne I usually go for Leona, and Leona is a guardian, and you only need 2 guardians to get the buff as well. So I go for Leona and Braum, and Braum synergizes as well together with Ashe. Then for additional noble, sometimes I'll go for Garen. It depends how many times I see him in the bottom where I can pick a champion. And then I usually go for Aatrox because I think he is quite strong. He has very good AoE damage, and he is a demon, so he synergizes well with Varus. Obviously, like every single team composition, this team composition has some disadvantages or counters as well. So I rely heavily on Aatrox and Varus abilities to do the damage. So if for example someone builds magic resistance and has very tanky, or for example this team composition can have counters in Yodels because you rely on these ranged units, and then Yodels have high percent chance to miss them. So that's why it can be difficult towards the end game as well if you play against these team compositions. But against most team composition it does quite well. So that is the main strategy behind this build. and I will try to do some commentary as well behind my thinking. So as you can see, at the moment I have picked Mordekaiser, which will be crucial to my build. Then I have Vayne, Varus, and let's see. This time I might not go for Garen. I can see that I did not pick him up. I should pick up, yeah, I should pick up Braum. And here in this stage, I'm thinking the reason why I put Vayne and not Varus is because I actually want to lose the next fight. The reason for losing early game, I think that it's quite advantageous to lose early game because you do not take a lot of damage from losing the match as you do in the late game. For example, in the late game you can easily take 20, 10% of your damage, whereas early game you typically take 5, 3 damage per loss. And in the picking phase, if you are ranked lower, then you will be able to pick the champion you want first. So it's the last few people select the champions they want first, and the reason for that is because you can pick the items you want. So here you can see that I picked the tier, and it's quite useful to put on Varus because he will be able to cast his ability sooner. I usually, in these phases, I usually try to go for the spatula, because when you combine two spatulas you get Force of Nature, and that gives you additional team size +1, so you can put additional champion on the battlefield. What this means is that you are able to get your combo sooner. And that is very beneficial, because the sooner you can get the combo, the sooner you will be very strong and start winning these games. Because usually this team composition has a weakness, that early game it's quite weak because you do not have a lot of buffs going on the left side. As you can see at the moment I have only Ranger and Ninja buff, whereas other people, for example this guy, he has a Knight buff, he has a Noble buff as well, so he has two, but they are stronger than, for example, Ninja is quite weak, and especially since my Ninja is only a tier 1 champion at the moment. So as I said, I tend to lose the early game, and it's partially intentional because I want to be able to pick up those spatulas as much as I can, and also partially because it's this team composition is quite weak early game, and since I want to lose the early game, what I do is that I take almost full potential of the interest. So I rarely do any rerolls to get the earlier champions, and also I rarely buy level up before I get 50 gold. I usually buy one XP pack of 4 XP in the next round, where there will be the minions, so I just want to make sure that I defeat them and get all of the items that I can. So that's the only round that I buy XP before getting 50 gold. So you will see that now I will buy the XP and put additional champion in the battlefield. So buy the Varus and level up Vayne, and put Braum in. And the reason why I put Shen towards the left side is because of his ability. and when the two NPCs will come, he will use his ability, and then for a couple of seconds he will be able to dodge all of the basic attacks. So you will see that, and also I want to focus the only monster on the right side, so all the damage will be on him, because when one monster dies, that means that the other two level up, so you want to focus one monster at a time. And as you saw, Shen used his ability, and as you can see, I defeated all of them and got 2 items, which is very nice. And also, as you can see on the right side, I'm ranked number 7, which is quite good at the moment, but the picking phase will still be in 3 rounds. And also, as I mentioned, now I have 40 gold, so I get 4 interest per round, which is also very nice, and I do not buy any rerolls or buy additional XP. Later on, when you get all of this interest, I will be able to level up sooner as well, and thereby getting the additional champions on the battlefield to get my combos. So as you can see, I'm still at only getting 2 buffs, which is still the ranger and the ninja buff, which is not that good, and I usually lose most of the fights, but this time I somehow won. Also, this guy, he did not level up, but that might be part of the reason. So I should pick up the Braum here. And again, I do not reroll because I want to have more than 50 gold in order to get the maximum interest. But you will start soon to see that I will start rerolling. Also, I think that Shen is quite strong frontline early game because of his ability to block those basic attacks for a couple of seconds. So that is quite good for the early game. That's why I have him. Alternatively, instead of Garen, for the 3 nobles, you can buy Kale, which is also very good. So Garen is nice if you can see him often. This game I do not go for Garen, but Kyle, he synergizes well with Mordekaiser because you will get the knight buff and you will get the noble buff as well. So that's actually also very good. So either Garen for the nobles or Kyle would be best if you go for the Mordekaiser. Alternatively, instead of Mordekaiser, in the late game you want to have you can at least buy Karthus, but the reason why I go for Mordekaiser is because I have 4 ranged units, and therefore I need to have a solid front line to protect my back line, and which deals all of my damage. So Karthus is not good front line, he is a backline unit as well, so I just want to have Mordekaiser instead. And here in this phase you will see trying to get the spatula, and I managed to do this. So whenever there is a spatula, I will always go for it. But you will also notice that most people tend to do that as well. So from now on it will get more interesting because I will not just passively wait for for the right champions to appear that I can buy, but I will start to reroll and I will start to buy XP. So there you go, 2 XP packs, and I'm thinking which unit to put into the battlefield. I do not have the required units that I need for my combo, so I just put additional Braum into play. Also, I tend to not put many items early game. I tend to wait and see what items I get later on in the game, because then I can better evaluate what items I can combine and what is the best pick for my composition. So I will definitely wait to the wolves before I start combining my items. And as you can see that my loss streak is 3. As I said, in this team composition I usually have a lot of a large loss streak early game, and then towards the late game it's just a complete win streak. So I buy my Leona and Kindred, and as you can see, this immediately gives me the Guardian buff, and if I put Kindred instead, then this gives me a Phantom buff. So now I'm doing my commentary afterwards playing the game. I'm thinking instead of Shen I should have put Leona, so I would get my Guardian buff as well, and put Mordekaiser in the middle so he would get the double Guardian buff. That's what I'm thinking now when I'm doing the commentary after having played the game. So now I'm in the last place, 8th place, and as you can see, this guy, he has spent all of his gold. He does not have any interest, so if you can survive long enough with the interest, that will definitely pay off. So here I will definitely buy Aatrox, swap instead of Shen. I should sell Shen because I do not need him anymore, and I swap Leona instead of Vayne because the wolves, they jump and surround all of my units, and then they do a lot of damage. So I think that Vayne will die very soon, very quickly after the wolves attack, and that's why I put Leona into the game. So I start combining items. In this team composition, I usually put items on Varus as well as Aatrox. They do a lot of damage, both of them. So I should buy Vayne, and I should sell Shen. Also, in terms of team composition, you should think about where to put Braum and Leona because of their Guardian buff. As you can see, I put Aatrox in the middle to get the double Guardian buff. And also think about your backline because of things like assassins as well as blitzcrank hooks. So I usually, since I put my items on Varus, I usually put him next to Kindred because Kindred ability will make sure that my Varus, he will survive even longer, which is quite nice. So in this fight you can see that Garen, he has both noble buff as well as magic resistance, which makes it quite hard for me to kill him. Alright, so here I should buy Varus, Vayne, and I'm buying XP. So this time I bought below my threshold of 50 gold. I just want to make sure that I do not start losing many games, because now, as you can see, I only have 17 health percent, which makes me vulnerable towards losing the entire game. So now I want to start winning my matches. So that's why I bought below my 50 gold threshold, so I do not take full advantage of the interest. But as you can see, this paid off and I won this match. And here in the damage section you can see that Varus did almost triple damage more than any other champion. Alright, so many champions that I need for my team. So Braum level 2, and then Leona and Varus as well. Also, for the backline, if you have, for example, like me, Varus has all of the items, then you should make sure that he stands next to someone on both sides, because Blitzcrank, depending on his location, he can grab either of these champions. So you want to make sure that your champion with the most items will not get grabbed. So as you can see, I should win this fight again as well. And there you go. And as you can see, I'm at the moment number 7, tied for number 8 and 7 place. So I will be the first one to pick the champion I need, and also I get start getting my win streak and take full advantage of that as well. So looking for the spatula, but I do not see one. So I'm thinking what I should go for. So here I went for the armor. And again, I will most likely wait for combining my items after the monster phase, where I will get additional items. So sell a Nivea because it's completely unrelated and I don't need her in my team composition. So I should pick up the Ashe. And once I put Ashe into play, that will give me the Glacial, and it will upgrade my ranged buff as well. So as you can see, my front line is very strong. The Braum shield is very strong against incoming damage, and my backline just sits behind the front line and just shoots the arrows. Also, I would really appreciate it if you would smash that like button and subscribe to my channel for more similar content. So here you can see that I finally upgraded my Aatrox to level 2 and just buy Braum towards getting him to level 3. Now that I'm commenting, I think that I will soon start buying XP because I really need to put Ashe into the game as well. And here, for example, in this situation, you can see that I'm level 7, and if I had my Force of Nature, I would already be able to put Ashe into the play and get my maximum level ranged buff. And there you can see this is how most of the games towards the end game play out. So many of my champions, they survive because of strong front line, and then a lot of damage is going in the back line. It deals a lot of damage. Here I'm not sure why I decided to buy Shen. Maybe I'm still thinking of getting additional Blade Master and Ninja, but I don't see how it would be beneficial. I believe that I will be selling Shen towards later on in the game, because it does not do any good in my team composition. So one item, BF sword, second item, third item. Let's pick those up. And now I will start combining my items. So buy the champions I need and then go for buying XP. Here I bought Phantom Dancer in order to reduce incoming damage on Aatrox. And as you can see, I'm evaluating what would be the best option for the other items, how I should combine them. So Infinity Edge and Rage Blade. So my Varus has a maximum number of items, and there you can see a lot of AoE damage. And 6 champions survived, and this is my 5th win streak. So considering that I have 7 champions in the battlefield and 6 of them survive, is quite good. So I'm just buying the XP, and again I went below the 50 limit just to put Ashe into play, and now I have my 3 maximum tier buffs, and then I have at the moment 2 bronze tier buffs. Later on I should be able to get Knight and Noble as well, so it would be 4 bronze tier buff. For example, as I said, if I put a Kale or I put a Garen into the play, that would give me 3 golden buffs and then 4 bronze tier buffs. So you can see the front line, how long it can survive. This time Varus died, my main damage dealer, but luckily I have Aatrox who deals a lot of damage as well. And there you can see in the right hand side that Aatrox dealt more damage this time than Varus. So I should buy Aatrox. Actually here I should have sold Shen and bought Aatrox. That's what I would do now. But again, on the other hand, getting Kindred to level 3, that does not happen often. So it's quite hard to level up her to level 3, and I have her already at level 2. And you can just see the attack speed of these ranged champions is insane. So here there is one spatula. Let's see if I will be able to get it. Yes. So now I will be able to combine it with the other spatula and get my force of nature. It seems that one guy is AFK. Good old Chivas. So sell that. And then get Force of Nature. And I should definitely get Kale and put her instead of Shen, and there you go, the complete collection or set of buffs. So as I mentioned, 3 golden buffs and then 4 bronze tier buffs. So I'm level 8, and here in this team composition you saw what I was talking about, of having someone next to Varus so that he would not get grabbed. So in this case Vayne got grabbed instead of Varus. So this fight I actually lost. The enemy is level 9, so we have equal amount of champions on the battlefield. So since this is the very late game, here I should buy Ashe. So by that I mean that only 4 guys remain. Now I start to spend all of my gold and go below the 50 gold limit, because there is no point in holding the gold and then just losing the entire game. So I should be able to win this. There we go. Next round there will be the dragon round, and I should also combine my remaining items, which actually I do not have. That was a bug, and you saw in the last round that there were items sitting on the left side. So here I get an item that makes an assassin. So I actually don't need additional assassins, but still it gives me a nice buff, and I just level up my Aatrox to level 3. So out of the quicker level ups, there is Ashe that I need to level up to level 2, Kayle to level 2, and then potentially Mordekaiser, Varus, Vayne, and Leona that I have a couple of level 2s. So I need 3 more to get to level 3. So those are the champions that I will be focusing on in the rerolls. So you can see Ashe level 2. Should pick up the Vayne and ignore Kindred. And again I will ignore Ashe because now it's, as I said, the very late game, so I will not be able to level her up to level 3, so there is no point in buying her. And you saw the Aatrox, because he is assassin, he jumped to the back line and he did a lot of AoE damage. So previous time I lost this match, also Aatrox became level 3 and was level 2 last time. I lost the last time and now I was able to win. And just keep rerolling. Braum.
Always bring Braum. When going gets tough, you call Braum.
There are a couple of Garens. So I'm just focusing on the champions that I have at the moment. So as you can see, Braum, Vayne, Varus, Leona, and Mordekaiser. So I should be able to win this as well. Also, if I lose a single match, most likely I will lose the entire game. And there we go, another Braum.
Rally to me.
I cannot buy Varus because my line is full, and I'm considering of selling something instead of buying Varus, so I sold Vayne, and I was not able to buy or find additional Braum. So most likely this will be the last match. And as you can see here, that my two main champions are Varus and Atrox. So that was it. I was able to win the game. I hope that you have enjoyed this. As I said, this is one of the strongest team compositions I was able to find. And see you guys next time.